You seen her shake it to the max, boy?
The
You seen
hips
her
are
shake it?
shaking. The hips
Yeah.
are shaking in there.
Yeah. TikTok is driving more TikTok consumption and not more streaming consumption. So people aren't finding artists and going and listening to their music.
Is probably saying the same thing when just out here focused on making ringtones and
Damn.
You're old as hell. You're old as hell.
I had one girl come over here and suggest, like, we was listening to music. She suggested this one dude on the radar freestyle. And she said, "Oh, he's from Chicago. He's actually really dope. He like plays instruments and stuff." Right. And I was like, that's weird because I thought they rapped on there. But let's see. All right, let's see. So I turn it on. And he starts like, at first, he's like DJing on a turntable. And I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then he hops on the keys and starts playing the keys. And I'm like, dang. And then he start playing the drums. And I'm like, yo, this is cold. So now we about 2 minutes in, right? And then he goes back to the DJ turntable when he starts turntable, DJing and stuff like that. And he's doing it for 3 more minutes. So I'm like, damn, it's a long, like, on the radar. I was like, that's a long on the radar. And so I get the remote and I check the screen and I'm like, that mug is 43 minutes. I turned it
like
off.
a fucking DJ
Bro,
set.
I turned it off. I was like, bro, when did he get to letting like anybody on here for like these aren't freestyles no more? And sure enough, he just started letting DJs come on there and do sets. And so I'm like, oh, they just doing whatever up here. And so I just feel like whenever I see on the radar on my timeline, I keep scrolling because there's no quality control. It's just whoever and their mama want to get on there. Got R&B, got Ray J up there singing One Wish.
People come up there and be lip singing like they wouldn't even be really
Ray J
rapping.
don't sound like that
It's
anymore.
No.
Ray J don't sound. And the crazy part about this, like, this is how the internet messes with your mind. Because I'm sure this dude's up there like really rapping. I'm sure it's still people putting freestyles on there that's actually really hard. But my mind won't watch them anymore. I've seen too much.
That's how I started feeling about the leakers freestyles too. There were so many leakers freestyles that was coming out. Like you said, they were just letting the baby on there.
The baby's been on there 7 times, boy. The baby's been on there 7. But that's why I don't mind. That's why I don't mind Lyrical Lemonade getting into it. Because I feel like after they become played out, like, we need new ones. Somebody else got it. You know what I'm saying? We still need to see people rapping. And people have been going up to the Lyrical Lemonade freestyle and like killing it. Like the T Grizzly one, we just watched that. That one was hard. That was hard.
No, they gonna come up with some bad one, and we gonna be saying the same thing about them in 6 months, bro. Like,
yeah, we're talking about them, but sure enough, soon y'all gonna see freestyles on here soon enough. We're gonna let Pookie and them come up here and freestyle for sure. For sure. Let's believe that. This is episode 105 of the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes. I'm here with my co-host Antonio Hughes. How was your week?
Pretty good. Still same shit. Job hunt. Doing my thing, bro. Looking out.
The job hunt.
So yeah.
Oh, you go to Tally not this weekend, next weekend, right?
Almost next 2 weekends from now. I got 2 weeks before I go. I go on the 16th through the 19th. So
what I realized from this weekend hanging out with Ashley and Andrea, our cousins.
Yeah.
I'm not Florida. I'm not Florida to the death. I don't rep Florida. But I just like regular Florida stuff that you just do being down here. You don't realize it's Florida stuff or people you be listening to. A lot of the music I was playing was just Florida dudes. And I was like, dang, I guess I do be, you know what I'm saying? Or Southern, like Rob 40, was it for Rob 49 or Rob 49?
Yeah. Rob
49, which I don't know. It's just 49. I don't know how you would differentiate that. It's like the Blast thing or the 6 Lack thing. So what we doing? But yeah, I hope you have a good time when you go to homecoming.
Yeah, I think I will. I think it'll be good this year. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the concert because it was supposed to be super expensive, but there's definitely gonna be a bunch of good people. G Herbo is actually one of the headliners.
G Herbo, who you think you a hater, not us? I just had a conversation about G Herbo, basically saying if you were to close your eyes and listen to G Herbo and then close your eyes and listen to Lil Durk is still on Obach, but G Herbo done. G Herbo trying to make a change. Tupac make a change.
That's not, bro. Why was that what you pulled from? Hell no.
Because you listen to Lil Durk. Because I was talking about NBA YoungBoy with Ashley, And then we were
Yeah.
talking about the young boy Dirk thing, and I was like, I
Mhm.
tapped out on listening to them anymore. It's just the beef thing, because it was just like the way they was talking. It was like, bro, this is too much for me. And then I kept going back and listening to my favorite little Dirk the songs this weekend. I was on a real gritty weekend. I ain't gonna lie. Musically, I was real gritty with it. But I was listening to a ton of old Dirk, and I'm like, bro, he's still out here on demon time. If I'm just listening to his music, that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that from G Herbo. G Herbo's, yo, you know what I'm saying, being a father, trying to get this money. My bill is 6 figures a month, but I still do that to you if I need to. But I'm really out here not committing crimes. Like, it's a different thing.
No, but you see where one is and you see where the other one is. Dirk's in
Mm,
jail. G Herbo's fighting with his baby moms in the back of cars and shit. Like, it's just,
yeah.
that's normal
Yeah.
shit, bro. Like,
Living the dream. Yo, what? Living the dream. That's it. Yo, some dude, and you know what's funny about that? Some dudes would prefer jail.
hell yeah,
And
prefer that
that,
lifestyle.
bro, I saw an interview where Hit Boy said his dad got another case, and his dad, he went up to speak to the judge on behalf of his dad. They were gonna give him 3 years of probation free, and his dad chose to go to jail for 3 years anyway, because he said he's probably gonna trip up in those 3 years, and he don't mind jail.
Bro,
That's
niggas,
institution, like, and it's crazy to say that out loud, but that's institutionalized, boy.
yeah. That's the young thug saying whoop de doo. Like,
That's the
literally, that's young
whoop-de-doo.
thug
That's your life. That's your life, boy. Bro, hair is all gray. You know what? I'm gonna go sit up.
bro,
I'm gonna
that
go
shit is
sit
crazy.
up.
So fucked up. Bro.
Yo, yo. First topic. First topic. First topic. The CEO of Live Nation and Ticketmaster says concert tickets are underpriced and have been for a very long time. I'm about to play the clip for y'all, and then I'm about to ask Tonio what he thinks about this.
For you, music is a better business, though, than selling tickets for sports.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think music has been underappreciated. I always joke, sports. It's like a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for a Knicks court. It beat me up if we charge 800 for Beyonce, right? So it's a real. It's a very under. We have a lot of runway left, right? So when you read about the ticket,
Okay, so you said something interesting before we started recording, but I just want to know off the bat, do you think concert tickets are underpriced?
So I think concert tickets, the way he put it, the first time I heard that clip, even I thought this, like, he's kind of right, I guess. And I want to put it in even different terms. Like, there are usually 82 games in a season for NBA teams. So you're usually getting about 41 home games. So you're getting 41 chances to see these teams. You get about 41 chances if you're in whatever state to see this team. And a lot of the times, yeah, people are getting consistent season tickets with these different teams. People really will go pay for the Knicks tickets. A lot of people get Dallas Cowboys tickets every year. But like when it comes to concerts, people be like, "Oh, that's a lot for one artist or one show." And I mean,
Right.
sometimes you're not getting what you're really paying for. Like, for example, Rio had a show, which you're kind of hit or miss with Detroit artists when it comes to actual shows. But like Rio had a show in, I want to say it was like Milwaukee or somewhere close to here, but he was basically just up there for 20 minutes, jumping around, not doing anything. I went to the Young Nudie show when I was probably like a freshman or sophomore in college. And in that one, he had people up on the stage, like random openers for the first hour and a half. And he came out for like 45 minutes and the mic kept messing up. He was like, "Oh man, it's not working." I'm like, bro, nigga just didn't want to perform today. I do think that but the point I made before was festivals, though, I do feel like underpriced because it's like you could sit there and I want them to keep it where it's at because I still want to be able to go. I still want it to be affordable. But I will say the idea of I can maybe see 15 to 20 artists in a 4-day weekend at Lala, depending on how I space it out. And at least I would say if you go all 4 days, you get at least four big artists to where it's like these are headliners. Like I saw Tyler before up there. I saw even like a Diplo on a Perry stage was really cool. Like seeing J. Cole up there, like you're getting to see these bigger artists. So sometimes you will sit there and pay for a Lala and it's $400, and they did raise the price this year. I will say that it was like $450. It was
Yeah.
a little pricier than it used to be, but I could definitely see those being a little more pricey versus a regular show, depending on how many seats there are. Like those higher up seats and those seats where it's like you're getting those normal small fans, those should still be like relatively affordable, but nothing is affordable
Yeah.
now. People really-
That's a big fact. Nothing is affordable. And I think the crazy part about him saying this, that music is underpriced and has been for a long time, something is only worth what people are willing to pay for it.
Right.
Right. And so I paid $20 to go see Blast in 2020. $20. I had no money. I was eating, no joke, eating ramen out of a studio apartment, a basement studio apartment in Chicago. I had no money and I went and saw Blast. And Blast didn't have a huge fan base. So it wasn't at a big venue. But that's what he could afford to price a ticket at. That's what people would pay. And that's what people decided to go. I think him saying this is so crazy because he is the market maker. He's a
Right.
monopoly. So he can literally just be like, you know what? Stuff's underpriced now, right? So I can just go up on everything. The iPhone is $1,000, bro. The iPhone wasn't always $1,000.
Dude.
But Apple became the market maker. And when you're the market maker, you could do whatever you want with the prices, right? They could just choose to go up on gas tomorrow. There's only so much you could do with market makers. And so I think that, do I think music is underpriced? From the standpoint of a Live Nation or a Ticketmaster, you could argue that. You could argue that they could raise the prices. And artists could also argue that they deserve more money. But I think the question then becomes, if you start pricing yourself out of your own fans, like what fan base do you have? If nobody can ever go see you on tour or in concert, who's going to be listening to your music next year, right? Or the year after that? And so I
Yeah.
think that's what's important. I think two things need to happen. I think the government needs to RICO Live Nation and Ticketmaster and break it up. And then I think artists need to price accordingly. Because my thing is, they can't really price accordingly with the way that they can. Because like you said, you can go see somebody for a reasonable amount of money, right? But to the extent of being able to charge whatever you want, like I don't want to throw his name here, but Russell, right? I think they need to break it up, and then I think artists need to price accordingly. Because honestly, when he put it in terms of basketball and stuff like that, like they could be Smino could charge $150 if he wanted to,
Right.
and people would still go. I think
Right.
that's also an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, it really just, I feel like it really depends on the artist too. Like those smaller artists are still gonna have to obviously build up their fan base in that way, but there is artists who do have this level of like, I can do exclusive stuff. I can go to Saudi Arabia and get paid $1 million
Right.
and do a show. I can go to the whatever country and do a show for. I can go to France, whatever it is. Yeah, I think that's definitely gonna have to come up. They're definitely gonna have to get recode. But
I'm telling y'all, the house party is coming back.
I
The
think
house
so.
party is coming back. No, I know so. I know something you don't.
Something that I don't.
I know
Okay.
something you don't. I know something that make Gunna wanna look like a saint. How you say it? Anyway, death of the song of the summer. I found this article to be very interesting. Yo, y'all internet people out there that got rid of 12-foot ladder, which is a way to pirate paid paywall content and to skip paying for it and just steal the content. Y'all who shut it down, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I was reading all the articles for free and they shut it down for good. They made the people who made 12-foot ladder put a note on the page that says this will never be coming back.
That's so foul.
But I found another one. I'm not gonna say it on here because I need to keep it. But I found another one. So this was behind a paywall, and I definitely didn't pay for that mug. But basically, it was talking about the death of the song of the summer, right? This year we didn't have a song of the summer. And this is by the publications and the editorials, but I think it's interesting to look at. Billboard said Alex Warren's Ordinary was song of the summer. I haven't heard that. I might have heard it, but I don't remember it. Spotify says Raven Lenae's Love Me Not, which I think I've heard. And TikTok said Jess Glenn's Hold My Hand was Song of the Summer. And that's the song that the Jet 2 Holiday meme that plays in the background of the Jet 2 Holiday meme.
That's
Darling, hold
hilarious.
my hand. But that song went up. Like that song shot up to Billboard, the Billboard Hot 100, because it's been going all summer. And it was perfectly timed, like for the summer. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's interesting because they brought some stats into it that's backed this up. In 2016, the top 10 streaming songs had 0.16% of all streams, right? So for 10 songs, that's a lot. But in 2025, they only accounted for 0.05 streams, which is a third of that. So the top 10 songs mean less, right? Like they're just not being played as much because there's way more music now. Another stat I thought was really interesting. 75 TikTok is driving more TikTok consumption and not more streaming consumption. So people aren't finding artists and going and listening to their music. 75% of TikTok users who follow artists don't go listen to them off of the platform. They only follow them on the platform, which I found to be super interesting, right?
Mhm.
Because all the labels and artists are saying, I got to make TikToks, I got to make content, right? People are watching the content and not going to listen to the music. I found all of that to be super interesting. And another one that I thought was cool, Losing Control by Teddy Swims is still top 10 in the Hot 100 and has been on the top 100, in the top 10 for 109 weeks. To me, this sort of just further supports arguments that we've been making on here, but I wanted to know what you thought about it.
I think, for one thing, Losing Control being up there for that long is very crazy to me, even though it doesn't really surprise me. That song is still crazy to this day. I have been around the whites a little bit this summer, so I can definitely say that Ordinary song, I've heard it a lot. So I could definitely believe them saying that. But obviously, I saw a different article that was talking about Shake It to the Max. That was the one that I was kind of hearing when I was out too. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember, I remember at the beginning of the summer when I went to Masada, I heard that song. That was like when I first got back to Chicago, and like that song was going up.
You seen them shake it to the max, boy?
The
You seen them
hipster
shake
shake,
it to the
the
yeah,
hipster shaking in there.
you know what? That's my song of the summer now, man. Fuck it. Shake it to the max, song of the summer.
you know where it's at. But yeah, that I feel like that in general, people in the room were hyped for that song, and I could definitely see that there's so much music, like you said. Like there was so much stuff that came out this summer. There's so much stuff that I forgot about, even like, and there's so much that it's hard to just pinpoint like one or two songs or three songs that were like really running shit. Like I feel like people be switching it up a lot.
So if you're an artist, how do you get people to listen to your music? If
I
it's
feel
not
like
if it's not making content, what is it?
it has to be more so like experiences and like live shows almost at this point. Like that's how you have to attract people into your music or something like that. Because yeah, like you're saying, people aren't being able to convert from TikTok to like using them on Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that. And I think part of that is still artists not having some of those direct links with labels having issues with TikTok and stuff like that, to where people can just go directly to their different streaming platforms and stuff. But I don't know. It's definitely tough. Like I feel like you just have to find a way to get closer connections with your fans for real and get your fans to really pull. Because I remember I saw an artist this weekend, and she was like this really soulful artist, and she had like she was making music about like black struggle music, I would call it. But I heard it on TikTok and I was like, this is dope. And then I definitely didn't go look her up. So it was like I'm a victim of doing that too. And I don't even know why. I think it's just like they get you so used to just scrolling and seeing stuff that you're just like, oh, this is cool. And then you just keep going. Like some
Right.
stuff is not like it'll stop you, but you're not. It's kind of like the friction point that you always used to make to me. Like people don't like to have to do 7 different things just to get to your music. So I feel like there has to be more ways. People are probably trying to focus on like the music platforms getting their music out there instead of the actual social media platforms. Like I feel like if Spotify started coming out with some type of like TikTok type of thing, or they were able to link with TikTok somehow, or like I guess.
But they have the interesting thing is Spotify has added features on to try and mitigate the TikTok thing, right? Like you can go post a TikTok on Spotify right now. Facts. Nobody's doing it though. Nobody's watching it.
Yeah.
I actually hate when I go on to Spotify on my laptop and that stuff comes up. It makes me mute the computer. What are we doing? But I do think this takes us down an even darker rabbit hole. I think artists are like, what's that dude named Zeddy Will?
Yeah.
He's dope.
He's
But I
fine.
feel like his little children that's gonna come after him because now artists are they're gonna try and jet to holiday it. They're gonna make songs and then try and make memes off of the songs. Which is gonna make for terrible music.
But wait, I feel like this is like fashion. Things come in cycles. So when niggas was out here making ringtone music, they saying the same thing? Like I feel like niggas was probably saying the same thing when niggas was out here focused on making ringtones and making
Damn,
shit.
am I old?
You're old as hell. You're old as hell. You definitely old as hell because that's an old nigga statement. I'm not gonna lie.
But that's not OD though. It might be.
No,
It
it's
might
not.
be. It might be because now I'm thinking about it like that you could say so ringtones weren't that long.
No.
Soldier Boy's music was, but Soldier Boy's music is an acquired taste, and I feel like with Soldier Boy, there's a lane for it. I'll just say there's a lane for it.
There's always
Let me
gonna
say
be
that.
a lane for it.
Let me say
bro.
that. But I do think you're right. Experiences, events, but it can't just be like you have to like you just gotta get up on stage and start dancing or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta get up on stage and like you gotta be like you know
Nah.
how you see the dude on the side of the street like playing his little trombone like with his hat
Yeah.
out. You gotta find your variation of that don't look homeless.
Yeah. Nah, and I I definitely feel like it's also I feel like collaboration is gonna have to become more of a thing too, where artists are putting themselves in front of other people's fan bases and other people's eyes so that they can get out there more. Because I feel like that's just something we're gonna have to really utilize, not just in the music space, but like in the Black community as well. Like you see a bunch of different like Black communities popping up, newer Black communities and stuff like that. And I feel like it's collaboration and us coming together in a way. Artists need to
Yeah.
do the same thing because labels are not putting money into artists in the same way. They're not willing to throw budgets at a lot of these artists because there's not as many for sure things like real, we're gonna pop you in 4 years type of artists. I feel like they see a lot more here today, gone tomorrow artists that they don't want to really invest into. So if you're really into that and you're really trying to get your music out there, I would say collaborate and then really get in front of people.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, you know what I'm saying? 2 albums that we want to talk about. Very briefly, I wanted to mention SARS, the producer, put out an album called Protect SARS at All Costs. And I knew this was coming out. I forgot. Then it popped into my little Spotify notification thing. To give you an idea of the features on this project, you got Ashake, Gunna, Wizkid, Odumodu Block, Shali Poppy, Fireboy DML, Joe Boy, Lil J, Victini, Byron Messiah, which Byron Messiah, bro. Anyway, and then Bianca and Tenny. I think honestly, this project is different than I would have anticipated it sounding. I guess I expected it to be a bit more like upbeat, fast, dance-ish. In the first half, you definitely get a lot of that. But the second half is more like soft Afro beats, more singing, R&B inspired stuff. And it's not bad. It's just different from what I expected. So I'm going to keep listening to it, but I definitely enjoyed this. So if you like Afro beats, you know what I'm saying? You like Ashake, there's 2 records on there for you. Skilly Bang did his thing. Wizkid did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Byron Messiah. Anyway.
I felt like it was pretty solid too. Like I heard a couple on there. I like the Joe Boy song, Lil J song, and then I feel like it had a lot of Caribbean influence to me too. Like I feel like I heard a lot of those notes, a lot of those tones in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And now this Doja Cat album. I saw Doja Cat put out an album, but I guess I heard it wasn't a rap album, and I'm not really a pop guy. But you listen to it?
Yeah, I was actually I was bored on Friday and I saw it came out, so I listened to it because usually Dojo have like those pop kind of songs. Like she had "Kiss Me More" with SZA back in the day, "Woman," which was kind of more poppy. But if you go really listen to a lot of these songs, like she be rapping on there. I can't even lie, like
Okay.
she do.
Not the last album, but the one before that with
Like
Woman.
the last
Like,
album was super rap. The one before that
yeah,
though,
the one with Woman on it. Woman was a hard song. That's like a popish song, but she rapping on there like that.
right.
Uh,
Right, and like that style, there was a couple songs like that on here. I would
okay.
say like All Mine, Amen, both of those had some definitely. She was definitely trying to get off on there, but she worked with not an artist, a producer and a writer. I'm trying to remember his name, Jack Antonoff. He works with Taylor
Taylor
Swift. They
Swift, and
worked
he was
with
on the Kendrick
Khaled.
album.
Yeah, on the Kendrick album, like you could definitely hear that on here though. Like you could hear that she's trying to compete with a whole different lane. It doesn't even sound like she's trying to compete with rap right now. I could definitely say that. But what I will say is good album on here. I like the song with SZA. I liked the intro song. Cards was hard to me. Gorgeous was hard to me. There was a bunch of decent songs on here. Definitely a lot of good vibes. So go check this one out for sure.
All right. Put me on with some music this week, man. Put me on with some music.
Okay. I can give y'all two different songs. One of them, I'm gonna give y'all "I Am" by Yoni. I hadn't heard of this artist before, but I went to the Mellow Bars playlist this weekend. I really like this song. But my other one, "Mirando al Cielo." My Spanish people tell me if I said that right. But Raul Alejandro, he dropped an album this weekend. I
Oh,
really
for
like.
real?
Yeah, he dropped the album this weekend. I really like a lot of the songs
Okay.
I heard. Oh wait, I didn't even realize I missed that part. Ira Star is on here. Oh wait, the Santa song is on here as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Didn't even see that. I missed a couple songs on here, but there was a lot of good ones. But my song "Mirando al Cielo" that was the good song. Those are my two though.
Mirando al cielo. Okay. I got two songs for y'all this week, man. The first, the first song that I'm gonna give y'all. Where's it at? Okay, Skiddo by Victini and Olamide. Listen, I was listening to this earlier today, and I was like, "Dang, Victini back in that mode." And then I rewinded it, and I'm like, and then I listened real intently now because now I'm listening to the song, and I was like, he not really back in that mode. He doing what he always do, but it was the beat, the producer, and guess who it was? It was our boy Blaze Beats. You know what I'm saying? He did a ton of Ashake's old stuff, and I realized it wasn't Blaze Beats is back in that mode. I say that, and Olamide is just doing what Olamide does. So that's my first one that I'm gonna give y'all this week, and then the second one I'm gonna give y'all this week. Dang, I'm gonna give y'all some Gunna, bro. Some Gunna. Sock Passe.
Hit.
Sock Passe. It was 8 p.m. Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? A little rainy, a little cloudy. Taking a little drive on I-95. Threw that Sock Passe on. I felt like the man. I felt like the man. I felt like I was going to make a play, boy. I felt like I
Man,
was
bro.
going to make a play.
Like I said, I reneged my statement. That Gunna album was not hitless.
Yeah, it wasn't. Nah, I felt like the man, boy. I put sunglasses on. It's dark outside. I can't see. I'm
Nigga think
driving and I
you
can't see. Hey, man, we back at it, man. A lot going on, but what I will say, bro, my advice for the people that I'm gonna leave y'all with this week: focus on yourself. Run your stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Run it up. Do what you have to do to get your goals met. And whenever people are trying to loop you in theirs, debate with yourself if it's worth it or not. That's all I got. That's all I got, boy. Anything you want to leave the people with?
No, nothing this week. Y'all have a good week.
Hey, man. Hey, yeah, we gone. We gone.